Hey, good morning, guys. I'm going to go over a little bit more of indirect backing with you. We didn't get to go over it on the video because we ran out of some time, and I like to do short sessions when I'm working with a baby. And Buckle is 8 months old. I don't know if I've told you that, but again, I'm Lindsay with Jail Ranch Training, and this is Buckle. We're going to go over indirect backing. We talked about direct backing, how we hold direct pressure on the nose and expect a back. So I'm putting light pressure. You can see I'm not even grabbing here. Good girl. And I'm going to release the pressure right away. One important thing is pressure release. Stop the pressure as soon as you get action that you're looking for. Whether it's a small step, whether it's leaning back. I like to personally start at the lightest cue or response that they give from the cue. So if it's shifting their weight backwards, that's progress. That's teaching them that that's the direction I want you to go. So we're going to get started. The same goes for indirect backing. So we're going to go ahead and get started and show you that. Hi, babe. So like I've talked about before, we're going to start with the lightest amount of pressure. So that would be not moving the rope. That's a finger wag. Notice how she shifted her weight back, and then as I was stopping, she took a step back. So that's rewarding that behavior. Back. Girl. Good girl. Now, eventually I'll continue to ask for more, not just that small action. To get her attention back on me. I don't want a distracted horse. So I'm going to start asking for a tiny bit more, maybe a bigger step, a little bit more than the leaning and just sliding. So I'm going to ask for a bigger step this time. Notice how I kept the pressure going until she gave me that bigger step that I was looking for. We're going to do it again. I'm going to get bigger. Girl, release that pressure. So that time I'd like you to notice how I did step up my body posture a little bit to drive her back further. You can use that a little bit more push with your body. Rather than amping the pressure up on the lead rope, I might just push more into her, driving her backwards a little bit more with my body instead of bringing up the pressure with the lead rope, which is another option, and it's not wrong. In some cases, I may have to do that with a pushier horse. She's more laid back. She's more distracted than what she might be, whereas another horse may raise its head and turn into a camel. So notice how I did lean into it, and I upped my pressure a little bit more with my drive of my body. So not so much as picking up the strength of the lead rope swing. Oh, before we get back to it, another thing I wanted to talk to you all about is making sure that you have a rhythm. When you start, I want you to count in your head like a metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then as you go up that pressure, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whether it's for 4 counts or whether it's for another 8 counts, make sure you have that rhythm. Horses thrive on rhythm, and that brings consistency to your pattern and training and what you're doing with your horse. Added a bit of a kiss to that. I'm also telling her to back when I do the cue. Back. Back. I want a little more energy from her to get that extra oomph to it. She's not giving me a lot of energy, and that's something I want to look for, especially as we get a little further on in the training. Okay, so notice how she resisted a little bit more that time. I went ahead and upped my energy as well as the energy of the lead rope. So she was a little more energetic and backing up, which is what I'm looking for. Still a bit sluggish. Back. Now, you might ask, what's the point of starting at just a finger wag? Now, let me tell you, the lightest response that you start teaching your horse at, the lighter they're going to learn to respond to. So if I want her to eventually back up to this finger, or do I eventually want her to back up to, we're going to cut a lot of slack, this, backing, back, back, back. A lot of horses need that, and or their riders think they do. But, however, if they had been taught to respond to the lightest cue possible, that probably wouldn't be necessary. So I'm going to start with that cue and upping the pressure to make it a little more uncomfortable as we go. All right, let's get back to it. I'd like to see a bit more energy before we stop this session with her. She gave me a full step there. Girl. Back. 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 There, I got a little more into it. Licking and chewing, that's a good thing. When we get licking and chewing, that means they're kind of thinking about the behavior that they've done and probably associated with their reward that I just gave her a breath. Sorry, my hands are getting a little cold. It is a little chilly here in Dallas today. Back. 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 She's not backing straight. However, at this point, I'm not looking for straightness, so to speak. I'm looking for the correct movement of what I'm asking her to do. Eventually, I will ask for straight backing. However, this point, I just want her to understand the concept. Back. Back. Popped her a little bit that time. She's continuing to get me sluggish. She's starting to learn what I'm asking her to do. Girl. Same concept with asking her to come forward. I release that pressure as soon as she gives me a forward step. I don't continue pulling on her face. Girl. Back. Back. Good girl. So that time I changed it up just a little bit. I continued to keep an even pressure, and actually I got a better response. So that's proof that upping your pressure does not always get you the best response. See, even I learn as sometimes. Back. pressure. She's not giving me a good energetic back. Good girl. Again, that was low energy somewhat, but it was slightly more, and it was a little more effort than what she's been giving me. Back. Back. Good girl. That was from a distance, too. That was the furthest she's done right now, and giving me some good positive movement. Back. 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 Good girl. So, I've learned something about buckle today, as well as you guys have learned something about training. Like I said, upping the pressure doesn't always mean you're going to get a better response. However, keeping that same gentle, constant pressure until she gives you what you're looking for got the better response this time. So think about that when you're working with your horse. Maybe getting upset, or maybe just amping up the pressure to careless amounts almost, is not always the best thing. Continue that same steady, constant pressure, saying, nope, you don't got it right yet. And then when she does give you, or he gives you what you're looking for, stop immediately. Like I said, release of pressure is what they learn from. We're going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to wrap it up for y'all, okay? Alright guys, we're going to wrap it up on that. I don't like to work babies too long. 20 minutes most at the max, just because they're so young and their brains are still beginning to soak everything in. A little bit about Buckle is she came to me about a month ago. She had not worn a halter. She had not been really touched. She's 8 months old, so, or 7 months at the time, but she's 8 months old now. So she's come a long way. She's still a little bit iffy about contact. She's not always sure, even though she's never been hurt in her life. She's never been smacked. She's a good girl. She's curious, but she's also got that leave me alone personality. So she's a little bit more standoffish, which is fine. It's her personality. So, but that's about Buckle. I hope you tune in with us next time. We're going to continue to teach you basic groundwork concepts so that you can hopefully get a better response from your horse, as well as have a better relationship with him in the process. You have a good day.